You're listening to WRFB Radio Free Britannia. And no other better freaking place in the world than Deltona, Florida. Here you are, lunch with no other than the dynamic duo, Laz and Jack.
And greetings, everybody. This is Les.
This is Jack. Welcome to Lunch with Laz and Jack and
Casey Cupcakes.
Casey.
How you doing today, guys? We've got Shroud doing a little musical accompaniment for us, as always.
Hello, hello.
Shroud. Thanks for joining us, being part of the team. We got Hara's boyfriend running around in front of us.
I believe that would be Zale.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. Today is February 26, 2016, Friday here in Shroud at Avatar. And we got lots to talk about, folks. A lot of good stuff for you. We're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. Of course, picking up on release 27. We've got patch notes for today's latest patch. There is a patch out this morning for those of you out there. There's a lot of little updates and fixes and all sorts of good stuff. We'll get to all that here through today's show.
We also have Star's post about player-owned towns, player-run towns, and water lots.
Yes, again, lots of great stuff out here for the news today. Of course, there will be Friday's newsletter coming out. As well, we have a date with Starlong. Next week, folks, we have Starlong coming to answer a whole bunch of questions. We're going to do an in-depth interview with Star. Topics including, of course, lot deeds, the land rush, player-owned towns, and other things that we can get covered, and especially some misconceptions about terminology and how people are looking at things out there. So we just got that. We're going to be nailing down some questions. Of course, I've already got several lined up. And, we're going to answer a lot of questions that people have about how this is actually going to go and lay it out for everybody so that there is no speculation. At least we're going to try and keep it to the point where everybody really clearly understands what's going to happen.
The clearer and more concise we are, the better off it will be.
Yes, there's a lot of confusion out there. And, we're going to try and clear it up for everybody. So, that's where we're going with it, and that's what's going to be happening. So stay tuned. We'll be getting a blurb out there, and I'll be, of course, letting everybody know throughout the week what's coming up. So, without much further ado, where do we want to start today, Jack? Do you have anything burning that you want to start to touch on today, or?
Hopefully something that doesn't have talc.
Hopefully something like
That doesn't involve talc.
And who we have out there? Is that Stella Moon?
Zale.
Stella Moon. Hello there, my dear. Welcome to the live stream today. At least that's who I think that is. I believe it is.
Yes, that is
okay.
Stella Moon. Yes, it is.
Welcome, welcome. Thanks to have you. Or thanks for listening. Nice to have you.
And Zale's running around with his boyfriend, or Para's boyfriend, around Owl's Head right now.
I love these guys. We wave hello to them yet.
Still haven't seen the new Kilter Kane on the add-on store.
Okay, so these guys are having a good time out there. So what do we want to start with, Jack? Casey said...
Well...
Casey chimed in with his comment, and then all of a sudden we went blank.
Yeah.
We want to start with patch notes. We want to start with where we left off.
Well, we can finish off where we were yesterday. That should be quick-ish, and then go into the commentary about the Stars post about player-owned towns, player-run towns, and water lots. And then from there, we can digress even further into like new features in the game, like the saturation slider, which for me actually either blows out the colors or it makes it black and white. So it's like
now
I'm
you were
still
saying
looking
something
for
about that. Now, did you get a chance to play without any of the thermal thing? I never got a chance last night. We got caught up
the
in some
thermal
other
map.
things. Yeah, the thermal mapping. Has anybody had a
No,
chance
I did
to play
not.
with that?
But it was just a couple pictures that we got to look at. But that doesn't really tell me a lot because that's mostly people running along the paths in game.
Gotcha. Well, it shows you what highly trafficked areas are going to be because one of the things we've
also
come to
that was a
find-
picture from. That was also a picture from the Perennial Coast, and that's the path that almost everybody takes.
Right.
Between Ardoris and the East Reach Gap.
But now with the disappearance of the Zone Command and the appearance of travel magics and weight restrictions, we're going to actually start seeing those actually become real-life monitors of how people are traveling and where the foot traffic is, where the hot spots tend to be. At least that's the way I'm seeing it. And I'm really hoping that that's exactly what it's going to do, is going to show people where traffic areas where people are coming and going to. Luca Kush Lady, thank you for stopping in today. Thanks for joining us here. Of course, if there's anything you guys want to come talk to us about, you want to come join the discussion, any of the topics we discuss any day, please come join us. Go to nbnn.info. You'll see the Discord app right there. Scroll down a little bit, hit the connect button, say yes, accept, and come on in. You can talk to us here live in studio. So let's go ahead and pull this up on screen. Where did we leave off with the R27 instructions?
Well, the earliest 27 instructions we left off at roving encounters and where they were delayed, and crafting. It is right underneath the world map because I'm not going to go through all the towns.
Yeah, I don't blame you. There's a lot of towns going on there. A lot of nice new towns and a lot of nice new places to explore, folks. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Okay,
You don't
so
want to read all the brick towns?
What was that?
I said you don't want to read all the brick towns?
Yeah, I think Brickbat has gone all in on the player-owned towns.
Yeah, Brickbat's gone crazy. I gotta say though, I love what he did. Gotta give the boy kudos. I got Kaz and say I may want to turn Nobles off when streaming.
Why?
I don't know. Because the whole world's not supposed to see it, I guess.
Takes away from Chasm's immersion.
Killing my immersion, man. Killing my immersion.
I didn't have any chat windows up, but I was going to say why, but yeah, no. Okay, so I am looking at crafting right now, and so alcohol recipes, teaching delayed. Everybody, I know several people that are looking forward to getting really, really drunk in game.
I want my beer.
Because I don't just want my beer, I want to become intoxicated, because one of the things that has been talked about is the fact that at some point in time, the effects of alcohol on your body are going to make you run around in a stupor. It may act like you're confused and remap all of your WASD movement keys, which would be hilarious.
It's been hilarious. I've seen it done.
With the confusion spell?
Well, back in the day, they had the confusion spell in Ultima Online. And as some people may know, we had a shard that was based, UO shard, that was scriptable. And we had a guy who actually scripted some heavy-duty intoxication, some illicit weeds, and some odd mushrooms that could be harvested and consumed and smoked and otherwise, and produced all sorts of odd effects, including up to and including hallucinations. It was some pretty interesting stuff.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I mean,
It's actually really cool.
I've seen this done physically, old school. So with what we've got available in today's technology, I do not see that being far from the truth.
Yeah, it depends on how many programming hours they can actually dedicate to it. So,
true. Another thing a lot of people may not be aware of is that one of the immersion things that Richard loves to do is to have things be as close to reality as feasible for certain things, like his dyes and his recipes. He likes them to be comparable to real life things. You would have to have the right ingredients, blah blah blah. But one of the things that they plan to have is that the food is going to be part of your life source as well. In past games, you were able to actually die of thirst, I believe it was one of them, or starvation.
Starvation.
And they're going to put some of that in there where you have to have and consume some food, some liquids, some this, some that, in order to keep you up to a full potential. And that's coming down the pipe. That's not coming right off the bat. It's not coming immediately, but they do plan to integrate some of that, from what Richard said. And I'm looking forward to seeing that as well with the intoxication. Kudos for putting that off till we have time.
I just realized I forgot to change my date on YouTube. Whoops.
Oopsie. You can edit that later, can't you?
Yeah. I'll have to remember that after the show.
I'm really looking forward to the brewing system. The Elderman brewing was what really enticed me when I started looking at this, and that was one of my original intentions until I got the bug. And then once I got the bug, well, here we are. The rest is history. But moving right along. Equipped tools. There's been a lot of fun
tools.
with that out there.
Players can now equip a preferred primary tool for each crafting skill in the skill tree interface. Tools can also be equipped and are displayed in the crafting table interface. To make this seamless for new characters, we now start players with basic versions of all tools. Note that secondary tools used at crafting stations will continue to operate as before. Now, this is something that we kind of experienced last night when we were out hunting and trying to gather resources. You would actually have to go through and equip your individual crafting tool.
Right.
So it's like you'd, and
now,
so it's like if I wanted to skin something, I would actually have to equip it. But you could actually equip all of those in the instance that you were going to use for harvesting. But we also have not checked out the recent patch notes because they may have changed it.
I have learned something since last night, and I want to talk about that. If you hit your K key, if you would, I got that up on screen right now. I've switched off the update for a moment. Go to the crafting screen, and then go to your gathering. Under gathering, click on field dressing, and you'll see equip tool. Okay. Now, I seem to have to re-equip these every time I log in right now, or I nailed down.
I did not have to, so it may have been something that was addressed in the patch.
Right, but
so
last night we were able to go in and equip each tool under each one of these, and they would stay equipped persistently while you were out running around, so you didn't have to equip them each time. Is something we found. Now, I put these all up there last night, so the patch may have inadvertently wiped that out, and I'll keep up to date on that, and we'll follow that, how that works for us today, and we'll follow up on Monday.
So I will say that last night, it's like I had everything equipped except for my fishing pole. So, and everything was actually here is today. So it should be working with a patch that was done. So I don't know when you logged out last night, or you may have changed some scenes that I didn't do in that reset.
I got caught up with the other issues that we're still having with the radio out there. And Justin, if you can't hear us today, I apologize. For anybody who's
Already,
missing us.
yeah, yeah. We already talked about that.
Oh,
Off the air.
she's not hearing it.
No.
But we believe we know where the issue is, and hopefully we'll have that resolved at the end of today with a little luck. There's a couple different things going on, and we do apologize, pardon our dust, but we are still in our growing phases here. We are.
Yeah, this is a service provider issue. It's not a LAS issue.
Yes,
so
I mean, I hear it. Anybody who's watching the stream right now can actually watch me. Go click Radio Free Britannia, and I'm going to blow everybody out here for a second because they'll see when it tunes in.
Not that.
Oh, okay.
Off the air.
She's not hearing it. You'll see that I'm hearing the radio in game. But we believe we know where the issue is, and hopefully we'll have that resolved. So,
yes,
it's really weird situation out there, folks. So we are broadcasting, we are on the air, but we're not on the air, if that makes sense. But we are working on it, we are aware of it, and we will get this fixed for everybody out there as soon as possible. Believe me, it's annoying to be losing sleep. But as Dreadfully Despised and I were talking about earlier, we'll get enough sleep when we're dead,
Yep.
But we found that interesting.
So
tools.
Luca says that the radio works for her, so it's weird. Yeah, it doesn't work for everybody.
The in-game radio for you, Luca, or the website radio? Because we're having a couple different issues, and I'd really love to hear the feedback from somebody who is hearing it. Because I don't believe it's everybody. It's just certain segments. And again, it is my service provider's side, so we'll be working on that. But she'll run over and test my radio. But that's cool. We had the Attenwood and Lord British and Star out here yesterday looking at it because we thought it was an in-game issue, and it may be a little of both. It's a lot of things. So anyway, let's not dwell on that. We'll wait for Luca's test there and report. We can go back to agriculture, or would you want to finish up? We got enough on the equipping tools. We'll follow up on that.
Yeah, we're skipping that because we also have to look at patch notes, and we have to look at other things before we actually do things to make sure that it's all been fixed and you can equip things that way. Agriculture, plants growing inside, plus roofs and balconies. Budding gardeners can once again grow plants inside, but they grow at a slower rate, 90% slower than outside. 90%. Wow.
Yeah, 90% slower. I love the fluctuation in numbers, man. Chris is nailing these numbers.
I'm curious as to whether that also affects underground biomes.
I believe that was addressed in one of these, if not here. But that's a good question, and I'll have to know.
Because that means that the underground biome should grow at 90% slower, unless they're growing mushrooms, in which case they should be growing at 120%.
Yeah, 120% faster. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, so plant removal. Plants can now be removed. Pledge reward reagent plants no longer need to be replanted. Skills removed. So if you look at your skill tree under agriculture, it's not the same as far as like gathering or anything like that. So it's not going to use your foraging skill whenever you're trying to collect things. So agriculture is now a refining tree instead of a gathering tree, so it's a completely different tree. So they moved that around, and I need to put my hoe in there.
Put your hoe? Gotta go get
put my hoe. I gotta go get my hoe. Do I even have my hoe on me?
Take your hoe and go get an escort.
I've got my hoe, so I'm putting my hoe in my equip tool. So, okay, so And then they have added the citrine and the onyx, so the gems now appear correctly in crystal nodes. Prosperity tools now increase players' base meticulous collection chances when gathering. Crafting timers now take time based on difficulty of your recipe, which is actually good. So if you have like a recipe that you've got a 30% success chance on, it will take you a longer time to try to craft it. Then from there, so that's the first step in increasing the interactivity of events and eventually bulk crafting, salvage, repair. I don't know if I like the idea of bulk crafting, salvage, and repair, because I think the bulk order deeds in UO partially destroyed some of the things.
Now, on salvaging, I heard from a few people last night. It's my understanding that scrap and other things, their weights have been reduced quite a bit to make it less cumbersome while you're collecting. And I'm thinking this has got to do with, of course, the weight and travel and all this new stuff. So they're playing with those numbers and the weights, and we're now starting to see them tweak and fine-tune those numbers in the background if you're paying attention.
I've always found it weird on scrap that it weighs more than the item.
Yeah, and we know that a lot of things have been out of balance over, this pre-alpha period, as it may be. Now, what are we calling it these days?
Pre-release.
Is early access.
Early access.
Yes. And the fine-tuning will come as we do it, but I'm noticing it that little by little, certain things, I'm hearing the reports from people as we progress that, oh, I noticed this, I noticed that, and you can they don't really tell us about it, but you see it in action, which is cool.
Yep. Then, okay, so new recipes we know in game. Hopefully they are all up on sodacraft.com already. Recall scroll, teleport scroll, castle walls, walking cane, kilt, butter, cheese wedge, crackling. What is crackling?
Crackling is when you take rendered pig fat and you fry it up, or pig fat and you cut it up and fry it up in the crackling pork rinds, most likely.
Like pork rinds, only butter.
Pork rinds. It's the Cadillac of pork rinds. Exactly. Crackling.
Okay. Yeah.
You should know. It's
flour.
a southern delicacy, man.
And man, I live in Texas. It's a different part of the South. We like dead cow, not dead pig.
Hey, not
although my grandfather wasn't.
Man. Bacon.
Yeah,
Get
bacon. If it's not, everything does have to be wrapped in bacon now.
You got to wrap that dead cow in some dead pig, buddy. Come on.
Yeah. So you corrected me there. Yeah. Jar of nut butter, Fido.
Yeah, you got some jar nut butter.
Sugar cookies.
Nut butter.
Yep. A white cake.
Jack's gonna make.
I don't know what a brace.
Rolling the dice.
I'm gonna be making exactly the rolling the dice emote. The brace of lapine. I don't know what that is either. Plate of Dark Star fried oysters. A plate of Dark Star smoked duck. Plate of Dark Star should be on there, so we should have. Which is the plate of Dark Stars. Well, so what that should say is. Plate of Dark Star Rocky Mountain fried oysters. So that way you can chomp on Dark Star's nuts. Then after that, let's see. Jobs. I killed it there. I killed everything. It's like no response, and it took you all a minute to figure out what I actually said.
We got what you said. We were
it was just like
an ultimate dream of yours or something.
Anyway. It's not my dream. It's someone else's. Casey's.
The dream is real.
Anyway, see, that's why Casey feeds them cupcakes, is to fatten them up.
Fatten them up. That's right.
You gotta fatten the calf.
Gotta make it right.
So Jobs says. That's right. So purchase orders will go on vendors. And so the job system, which is public and player vendors, will now take job orders. These jobs describe what players wish to purchase and how much they will pay for them. So,
Have you tried purchase orders?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
We can
I've put
look
a
at your
couple-
vendors.
I've put a couple on the vendor, and I haven't checked. So if you look at my vendor, tell me what you see as if you were want to buy it. And I guess, how do we go to purchase orders for the public to see it?
Well,
Manage
I am
orders.
looking.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
manage orders.
So, yeah. So I just grabbed an amethyst fragment, and then from there, it's like you will actually you want this many of it, you will pay this much, and then you list it on there.
Yes.
So, let's see.
So let's say I was going to do the animal
Uh,
hides.
Yeah.
I would
See, I don't
put
have
the animal
oh,
hide
wait.
in there, tell them how much I want. So I wanted 100 animal hides, and I want to pay 800 gold. And so I'll put that. And there was a problem creating your purchase
What?
order. What? Yeah, I know it was an unrealistic number.
Dude, seriously? I just put my purchase order is 100 animal hides at 2 gold each.
Yeah. But were you
It's
able
like-
to place them? I think I have the maximum
Yes.
number of purchase orders on it.
I was able to actually put it on there.
Okay.
So so now you will actually have to go to the buy and sell tabs whenever you go up to a vendor to see purchase orders. So it appears that you were trying to buy a crap ton of wood.
Yes.
So yeah. If anybody actually buys my purchase order, it'll be kind of funny because I do not expect it to actually do anything.
I don't expect any of those to do anything either. I put them out there just for giggles and grins, you know. I can dream.
I still need to get the gust balls to put them on Jack's junk, and then some
Now,
other gems.
I heard somebody say something, and I didn't get the whole gist of it. Somebody said something about gust balls being decor now. I'm going to have to test that out.
Oh, so maybe they
Let me
changed
see.
it to
Actually, I should have
the
a
gust
ball
ball
on me.
leveling up of skills.
Do you believe this? Lazarus does not have a gust ball on him.
I know there's like 1,000 vendors where you could buy one.
Oh, yeah. I've got them on my... I got a chest full of them in here, I'm sure. Gust balls. Yeah, I only got 31 of them.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, trying to summon a gust ball, let's go back to look at this while we have a moment. Interactive use logging. Almost everything is logging usage. So if you right click on anything in game, you can actually bring up the log. And
Yeah,
so
like when you
the
saw
fact
my
that
radio yesterday.
Laz, I don't know what you're talking about.
I
That
got
was
a
not me.
log of it. I got a log of it. Let's show
Wait.
the world.
Wait a second. Where'd you move the radio to? Because I
took-
put it back yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I took it away because we had that bug
Okay.
with the radio. You remember the radio bug that came out a couple releases where the big radio was on the paver, and you tried to listen to the other radio. There was a problem with it, so I removed it while we were trying to fix
okay.
that with the Attenwood yesterday. I thought we might
Okay.
have had a recurring bug that was rearing its ugly head, you know, from the past. So I wanted to eliminate
Now,
that as a
How
potential
how do you
source.
get the deco log up?
Well, I go into my private residence and I click on the little settings.
The gear
there, and there's
view
a
decoration,
decoration
log.
log. And this goes you and tells you and shows you where I went ahead and took it after you did. And now it just shows you that I placed a gust ball, which I should probably be showing everybody out there.
Although I cannot go to page 2 for some odd reason.
I don't think there's a page 2 just yet.
Which
Last thing I did
okay.
was place the gust ball. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yes, when you have people coming in interacting with your property now, There is a log of it so that you know. And I'm assuming that doors and other things are going to be coming up on this list as well for folks to see. But check that out. Gust ball as decor. So
It's rather interesting.
You can't do anything. Can you gust it? I don't have the gust scale. See,
I do. I just have to wait for it to come up.
well, I didn't think about trying to attack it. Can't attack it. At least I can't.
Nope, I cannot attack the gust ball.
We have Arpana out here.
But I am waiting for... So you will no longer be able to... Where is my gust? Gust?
Yeah, I'll be interesting to see if you can gust it.
Oh,
But that's
I can't even gust it because I can't target it.
Yes, it's a decoration. So I just placed it on my lot as
KC
decor.
laid his balls
so
out.
yes, gust balls are now decor. How about that?
Yeah. So no one is going to be using a gust ball for leveling in the near future.
Well, I don't think that's
That's
going to
incorrect.
stop them from doing what Casey just did, summoning his own and doing it. See? It's just
Can you hit your own?
Casey should be able to hit his own. I just placed one as decor. I'm just pointing out you can now use a gust ball and place it as a decoration on your property. They should still function as a game ball and as a target practice ball.
Oh yeah, I can target Casey's.
Yeah, so that hasn't stopped.
Okay.
As we derail
course,
the train, when somebody pulls out a gust ball and we all got to go play. The boys got to go play with the balls.
The only problem is I don't believe I have any XP to actually... Yeah, I have pulled XP of 0. I used it all up last night. So that is a good thing. So combat passes will be made across most parts of combat, including PvP. Animal Charm is now usable out of combat. Animation speed did pass through most weapons and make the animation work better with overall increase in combat speed. Blink cooldown has been increased. Buff dismissal. If you right click on your buffs, it will. If you have multiples, it will actually do them all.
I don't know if I like that.
If they're tied to each other. So if you have like two
okay.
buffs that are related to each other, it's not all dismiss all buffs. I don't think.
Well, that's the way it reads.
No, buffs with multiple effects no longer require multiple dismissals. So that means like if the buff
they were
does two
stacked,
different
you mean?
things. That I don't know. But a buff with multiple effects no longer requires multiple dismissals. But I'm trying to think of a buff that does multiple effects, and I can't think of one. So caltrops can now be tossed from the non-combat bar, and will now trigger combat.
Cool.
Yeah, so now you can slow people down with little pointy objects
Yes.
and set up some traps.
We're gonna have to play with those.
Chaotic feedback and shield of air, two buffs were truly causing chaotic feedback when used concurrently. These have been changed and one now overrides the other. Chaotic step should now be functioning once again. Damage. Melee damage has been reduced by 3.3% for all hits, and the max damage done by a critical has been reduced by 15%. That's actually really important. Magic damage remains unchanged, but magic criticals have had their max hit reduced by 15%. So criticals being reduced by 15%, and melee damage having a slight reduction. The slight reduction for normal melee damage shouldn't change much, but the 15% should change PvP battles in-game and some of the longer fights.
So it's going to make it so you can't as easily one hit kill somebody if you're OBG charges.
Well, why not? Hey, look, Shroud has got a boyfriend now.
Yeah, we've been hanging out.
He must love the music. I tell you, because we're digging it here.
Yeah.
'Cause I love
I
having
told
the
him
music in the
I told him
background.
last night he should come visit.
So yeah, we got some nice changes there. We'll have to see how
Yeah.
those come into play in the live game.
Well, I mean, balance of combat is going to keep on happening as they get more data about fights and battles and things like that. So it's about balancing skills and balancing a little bit of everything else. So that's going to be changing. Let's see.
Now,
Healing
this
Burst will
one,
now require reagents. Which one?
where was it? I think I just missed it. The arrows, the bows. I just see that, and I just jump ahead of you.
Interactions with bow. You
Yeah.
can now properly open doors,
thought
gates,
that's what
instead
we
of
were.
shooting them with when you have a bow equipped. Yeah.
Is they fixed that so that where you would normally swing something or use a sword, they fixed the interaction on that. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. So increasing the light spell will now cast a larger, brighter light shield your eyes. That's good for most situations. Offhand defense now gives an always-on parry bonus instead of adding damage resistance. Benefit of time will approximately be the same amount of damage but applied differently. Parry in our ongoing effort to make different weapon types more meaningful. All weapons now have a parry effectiveness that is not tied to the weapon damage. Daggers and small blades are now more effective than many larger weapons in stopping damage in a parry. Large hafted weapons and bows are now less effective at parrying than before. Additionally, offhand weapons now add to the amount of stopped
Very nice.
when parrying.
I'm going to like that
So-
because that's going to bring back the dual wield blades for Lazarus probably. I gave that up for a
Yeah,
while
well-
because they nerfed certain things, but now I'm going to go back and explore that.
That also brings another change that they really should focus on, and that's the difference between piercing, thrusting, slashing damage, because weapons do different types of damage. So, like if you think of a blade skill or a bleed skill, which is one of the things, what kind of weapon should also increase the effectiveness of that. So,
Yeah.
if you're using, so it's like, hey, look at all these different things. It's the same thing that they should do with bludgeons, and it's like this Morning Star here is going to be doing a little bit more different types of damage.
Bludgeons, real quick. I've got with me the Royal Scepter, and I mean, by the looks of this thing, comparably to other bludgeon weapons out there, this thing only does 1 to 3 damage, and I'm going, if I bash somebody on the head with that, I bet you it would do a lot more than 1 to 3 damage. Talk about a little balancing.
Yeah.
But,
No, I mean that's where it should do like crushing damage and do more things against armor. So if you're wearing armor, like especially metal armor, it will damage it and make it completely ineffective.
when the Royal Scepter was conceived, I don't think they actually meant for it to be something we would be running around bashing monsters with. Just
Yeah.
food for thought, though, guys. Maybe make it a little bit more effective.
Yeah, plague damage now increases over time, so getting cured quickly is now much more
I
important.
like this one. This
Supposedly,
is
there was a bug where it would actually do like 1 million damage to some people or something like that. So it starts off like doing 2-3 damage, and then as you stay in a scene longer and longer, the damage starts increasing. So you actually have a reason to purify yourself. So that's going to be a big one.
You're going to be purify is going to become something you're going to need if you're going to be out there with the undead and the plague. And of course, Dead Spider chiming in, going crushing and break armor for bludgeon. I believe
Yeah,
there's
reveal-
commenting on.
Yeah, yeah. Reveal hidden. They changed the reagent usage to make it in line with other tier 3 spells. Ring of Fire was updated to the new math used for most combat skills. Root spells will now have their duration shortened based on the target's strength.
Yeah, something
For players, this will
interesting,
mean that their roots are 1 to 3 seconds shorter, but for many large monsters, this will likely make the roots last only a couple of seconds. A few seconds. For extremely powerful creatures like trolls, dragons, demons, the root will be broken
immediately.
immediately. Yeah. So
not
no
gonna
longer
waste
will you
your
have
time.
the 18-second long root. Yeah. Shield skills. So they changed the shield tree a little bit. Expanded functionality. Dig in. Area of effect shield buff that increases damage resistance in a radius around the caster, but only if the caster remains immobile. The effects increases multiplicatively as additional users cast the buff nearby. That's actually a really cool idea. So, like, if you have, let's go ahead and look at the K skill and look at our adventuring and shield. Because where is dig in?
This under the shield, you said? Shield skills?
Yeah, under shield. So if you've got a group of people fighting and they can stand still and then they all dig in and it increases everybody's buff, that's actually really cool. And so it becomes a group buff.
I see this becoming a potential high-use item in control point situations. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. You know, a group of 8 gets in and just forms a circle and digs in. You know.
Well, I was going to say it will probably be used in a certain control point that has a forge in it.
Oh, I just said control point situations. You know.
Well,
I wasn't
other
gonna-
control points,
I don't wanna
I
give
see
out
them
all the
move.
specifics, but yes.
So you're
yes,
thinking of the
absolutely.
exact same control point I am?
Absolutely. Or any
Yeah.
other one for that point. It'll probably work great for training skills as well. But yeah, that's going to be used. Anybody who wants to be spending some time down at the bottom of Hilt, that's probably going to be a must on the repertoire.
Yep.
And the guys who bang that out and get that dug in, we'll see a lot of those people down there protecting that area. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. I haven't visited the bottom yet to go look at the new one. I'll do that over the weekend. We got some time. I want to go see it in action, or at least die while I go see it. I hear it's something else. But moving right along.
Moving right along, we have Testudo, shield buff that increases damage resistance in a radius around the caster, but slows the caster down. The effect increases multiplicatively as more people use it nearby. Redirection, I like the idea of the group buffs.
Yes,
Groups of
absolutely.
people using
I'm
buffs.
digging the
I
group
really
buffs. I am.
And then redirection, innate shield skill that increases chance to force a glancing blow if the player has a shield equipped. Okay, yeah. So that's your passive skill for increasing glancing blows. Bolster balance, innate shield skill that increases knockdown, knockback, and stun resistance, which is also a good. So I like the 2 innates right there.
Yeah. Digging it all, man. Is just seeing all these little things come in and the way they're doing it. The group buffs especially, because the idea is to, people, you want people to be working and interacting together in teams. And I think the people who are paying attention to these little details are the people who are going to be the people to watch out there. You know what I'm saying? People who do and follow the right guidelines are going to be the people who are going to be out there at these control points and making the profitability margins explode in the markets out there from using these skills, as it may be.
And then let's see, Strength of Earth, base boost drop from 10 to 5. So half the reduction there, plus skill level divided by 10. This was being more in line with other stat buffs. So the fact that they're trying to balance stat buffs is actually always good. We don't want anything overpowered, because initially in the Earth tree, it was like wearing, the way the buffs were designed was like wearing heavy armor underneath heavy armor. And that's why everybody had invested so much in the Earth tree for the damage resistance. Let's see, tooltips. Filled in missing information for a bunch of skills. Untrain. A skill set to untrain will quickly lose experience. Some of the lost experience is put back into their experience pool. Note that only affects skills above.
But that's
only if. Yeah. Note that only skills above level 20 can be set to untrain.
Now, I like the limit there. You can't go down to 0. Blah blah blah. I think it should be left to decay, personally. I like the way it was initially described to us, that if you didn't train it, it would just slowly decay. But the population speaks here in Shroud and Avatar, and when they speak loudly, this is what we get. So people have been looking for that.
If you speak loudly enough, you get a personal phone call from Starlong.
Well, we didn't start the fire. But anyway, moving right along. We got a lot more stuff to cover here. We haven't even finished this. We guess we'll get this wrapped up. See if we can get the patch notes in real quick.
Well, yeah. I mean, the performance and polish, we know that's going to happen. The heat maps, if you look at that's the way people run around Perennial Coast. That doesn't really tell us a lot of information. The saturation, we already talked about. Map-specific performance improvements, we haven't really been into those zones.
No, we have not.
Cloak Logic, Cloak Logic has been updated to make them less costly in high player count situations. So maybe we'll have less lag in certain scenes when we're trying to do a record release. Yeah, caprins. Game mode display. Players now have the option to display in-game what mode they are currently playing. So right now, if you look in the top left-hand corner on my screen, it says that I am in multiplayer. It will probably say the same thing on Laz's.
They can't. See
I don't even
overlay.
Yeah, that's why I unchecked mine. Oh,
so
yeah.
Take the overlay off. You'll see it says multiplayer up in the left-hand corner there.
Yeah, so fast travel has had a major overhaul and is now integrated into the player economy with crafted elements. So the previous voting method was a dev command. And now if you are overweight, you are no longer able to zone.
The minute you go one little iota overweight, when that overweight icon comes up on your screen, folks, no more magic travel. You're on foot from there on out. So be well aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you're carrying it out there. We're starting to get to the point where all these things are coming into play. And again, I'm loving it. It was funny the first time I heard somebody say, "Man, I can't teleport back to my house. I'm overweight." It's like, well, they told you this was coming. And it's interesting to see it in action. So it's going to be fun to see how the world starts to evolve with zoneless travel.
Still not a fan. I still get lost. So.
I'm not finding it too bad right now, to tell you the truth. For the most part, of course, we live here. So, how much do we really travel? And when we go out, I mean, I can get halfway across the world and back in 10 minutes flat on foot. So I really don't see it as a problem.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they actually implement all the different control points, and if they would do what I've been trying to get them to do forever, which is to make them all PvP zones, which actually gives people a reason for trying to control those control points instead of, hey, I'm just going to run through it and not take much damage. you end up with a reason for PvP. You end up with a lot of different things, and a reason for Casey to make cupcakes. And I would also like to see multiple bind points. So since for people that do own multiple houses, it's like, I would like to see that, but I can see why. But I can see the logic. Yeah, I can see the logic as to why they don't want to do that. But if I friend all of my friends and have certain people parked in different towns or areas, I can still fast travel there. And so it's like there's always workarounds.
I want to bring something up because we're under the 10-minute mark here, and of course we got weekend calendar. We got a lot of stuff that's out. Of course, we always have a lot of stuff, almost, where we want to cover and we never get to finish it. But this weekend, especially, a lot of great stuff. Brain fart.
Anything super special in the patch note?
You know what? I don't see on the invitations a thing that's supposed to be out today.
What do you mean?
The Fire Lotus party. It's not on the calendar.
Well, it should be. Today would be the traditional Fire Lotus party. Usually happens 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is about an hour from now. Lovely Mistress of Chaos, Amber Rain, is recovering from surgery right now. And of course, our best wishes go out to her and our prayers for a speedy recovery, of course, from all of us here. So I know she's not going to be available. Hey, Casey, do you have anything on that front? Do you know anything about just anybody else stepping in? I mean, Fire Lotus can probably do a regular set and do what she's doing, so I
haven't heard anything, but I'm always willing to decorate for it.
Yeah. But moving along, I lost my train of thought on the other one. What were we talking about there? I wanted to...
Getting close to the weekend, something important always happens.
Yeah, distractions.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this puppy up for today because we got about 6-7 minutes. And,
so I'll start doing the weekend calendar. Remember, weekend calendar is provided to us by our friends over at Avatar Circle, and then from there it is a Google Calendar for the weekend. I normally uncheck the Ethervision Alliance, which gets rid of most of the media events off the calendar, so that way we can just focus instead of on like DJ schedules.
Yeah, we don't need to read everybody who's going to be broadcasting this weekend. Go to the calendar and look. That's what we have.
Exactly. So NBNN.info, and then just click on the calendar, and then from there it will take you there, or go to avatarcircle.com and look at the calendar there. So this is a community calendar. All times are Central Standard Time. In the real world, in game, we refer to it as New Britannia time. So we ready for this?
Yep, let's go ahead and knock this one out.
Yeah, since I unchecked it on the screen. So, okay, so today at 7 p.m. is going to be the Phoenix Republic PvE night. So you can contact Kaizen Phoenix Fire or Morlachis for more information and find out where they're going to go kill stuff. If you're interested in PvP, you can always go out to the City of Vengeance for an open PvP tournament and go kill everybody that you see inside of Vengeance. Then, if you were more interested in astronomy, you can always join Bowen Bloodgood out in Caer Drakwich as he tries to figure out what's going on with the night sky. On Saturday, February 27th at 9 a.m., we have the Paxlayer working hours with Sean Silverfoot and Winfield. So if you have any questions about the Paxlayer community, it is not just a guild, but it is more like an alliance of several towns and other things. You can go talk to Winfield and Sean Silverfoot about that. If you're interested in the Church of the Dark Star, this is a church service in-game with Amber Rain as well as Kaizen Phoenix Fire. Amber Rain is the High Priestess of Chaos, and Kaizen Phoenix Fire is the Church of the Sun, so he represents virtue. and they both talk about a topic. Since this is a new release, we do have the welcome quest where you can go follow with Duke Gregor, and he will take you around to some of the newer player-owned towns in-game and allow those communities to actually talk about history and what makes them special, as well as do some little entertaining quests inside of those instances. At 2, yes, and then let's see, we have at 2 o'clock the Barron League's Construction, Harvest, and Craft Fair. So this is going to be out in Barron's Reach. That's going to be, if you need to recall to a person, you can always recall to Bowen Bloodgood. Everybody's going to have to change that terminology from zone to recall.
Yes.
And at 6 o'clock, there is the Port Phoenix Social Nights. You contact Kazan Phoenix Fire for that.
It's my understanding, real quick, there's been slight changes to the welcome quest, but I will get updated news, and I will get in touch with them to get that updated out of the calendar.
Okay. And then Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Sunday. Yes, we're not in a strip club. This is the PAX Layer early morning meeting. There's a more formal one that is going to be later on at night. So early morning meeting, 8:30 a.m. for like the Aussies and other people that like to sleep during the regular meeting. Then you have Gust Ball training with the Seamus McGinnis of EVL for a 30-minute Gust Ball lesson practice session before the 3 o'clock Gust Ball matches. So if you're interested in learning about Gust Ball, remember that is an in-game game created by Bambino Lugavate.
That's right.
Yes, in-game sporting event. All about blowing balls around and into the net. Blow it into the goal. Blow it gently. Very gently. Yes. Yes. That is correct. So then at 5 o'clock on Sunday is going to be the BMC Gridiron registration. That gives you 30 minutes to register for the BMC's Gladiators Gridiron, which begins promptly at 5:30 and lasts until 7. And this is going to be taking place in Black Rock Cove. And then from there, you can see what's going on. If PvP is not your thing, at 6 o'clock, the EVL Guild is hosting a fashion and crafting show. So they are going to, something very, very new. This is going to be out in Cottage Grove, and they will have a grand prize for the best dressed guy and girl.
Very nice, very nice.
So change your clothing and go see if you can win some prizes for your outfit.
Avatar. That's right.
That's cool. Right. 7 o'clock is the official PAX Layer meeting. That is going to be in the PAX Layer town. Just contact Winfield for that. Then we close out the weekend, almost every single weekend, with fishing with Winfield between 8 and 9. And that's going to be some spot.
The old man. That's right.
Yeah, he normally sends Sean out to find a new fishing hole, and then everybody goes to that new fishing hole. So they have been all over the map for the fishing.
Battle chess sounds awesome. I believe we got somebody who's doing that as well. But meanwhile, let's go ahead and say thank you to all the good folks out there. We're just about out of time here. We're going to say thank you to our sponsors. Of course, Relics by Rill, Ben out there for providing all the official Shroud of the Avatar swag. You get everything from t-shirts and patches to coffee mugs and shot glasses. You can get 10% off Relics by Rill with the promo code NBNN when you check out. We got our friends over at Soda Craft, our friends over at Soda Taming. Of course, the fabulous Jacob White with sodamap.com. And our friends over at Shroud Marketplace. If you want to buy and sell some swag. Is any word on that new item out there, Jack, by any chance? Have you seen anything or seen anybody poking their noses around?
There have been lots of people poking their nose around that Hearth of Britannia that's up on Shroud Marketplace right now.
I've seen all sorts of stuff all over Twitter. That amazing to see somebody wants to part with such a unique item, but keeping my eye on it. I'm thinking about bidding on it, but I just don't know yet. But check out Shroud Marketplace for all your buying and selling.
There's also a post on the official forums by Shroud Marketplace where there is another deal going on.
I thought I saw something out there, but with everything else, again, I'll read this later, and I didn't get to it. But check out the forums for all sorts of other marketplace information as well. Of course, check out shroudmarketplace.com, and of course, listen to us here, and we'll keep you posted on what we see and hear out there. We'd like to thank everybody for listening. We'd like to thank everybody for watching. I need to apologize for the problems we're having, folks. We are aware of them. We are working on them actively, and we will have them fixed as soon as possible, I promise. So we will be getting that taken care of. Thank you, everybody out there today. Dee Dee, Kush Lady, Stella Moon, Luca, all of you out there, we love yous all. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being out there.
Hiya, Kush.
Of course, Scroda for our musical enjoyment here during the show. Scroda playing the tunes for us throughout the show. Thank you,
yeah,
Scroda.
Fun stuff.
Thank you.
I'm going to go hang out with my new friend.
He's with his new boyfriend over there. All right, Jack, you got anything else before we get out of here? We're running a little late today.
I would like to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for participating. We do this show for you guys, and we couldn't do this show without you guys. So it would be very, very boring of us just reading the news and occasionally saying things. But feel free to interact with us. Please come by our Discord channel. If you don't have a mic and you don't want to talk, you can always talk. You can always chat in there, and then you can participate that way.
That's right.
Just go to NBNN.info.
Yes. We welcome it. We encourage it. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. We're here to chat about the game. We're all here for the same reason. So come talk.
Discord is free for your smartphone.
Yes. Free and easy to use.
Yes.
Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for us, folks. I'm Laz.
I'm Jack.
And we are NBNN. Stay tuned for more news, sports, entertainment, crazy wild happenings. Coming up next week, interview with Starlong. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that you want answers for, and we're going to have it for you live here Friday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated next week. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next Monday. I love this show.
Hey, baby. I do. You know what I really love? Kolaches.
You're not the baby's daddy.
Who's your daddy, baby? Who's your daddy? And quite trying to look up my skirt. It's not a kill.